Hello, everybody. I think we're good. Yeah, we are good.
Oh, nice.
What's up, everybody? We are already back. So we've had a pretty full day of interviews, way more than I thought we were going to have, which is awesome. And better even yet, game developers, because we have a lot of gamers watching right now. I've got. First of all, let me tell you, I'm gonna brag because, and the reason why I'm bragging is because I think I have one of the best gaming communities because I'm not kidding. My community, my friends and chat, they are super awesome, super supportive. It's like no toxicity, and they're always open to new things because I don't do a lot of normal things on my channel. Right. So they're always very supportive and always open to new things. And Capone Gaming, what's going on? See, they're in here like, what's up? You know. So we got a lot of people watching. So I've got a couple of indie game developers right here with me.
Yep.
So I'll let you introduce yourselves.
My name is Zach Gibbons. I am the developer / creator of Talif's Journey, which is the game we're working on.
My name is Tara Benoit. I'm the supposed art director. I do like 80% of the art for Talif's Journey.
That's true. That's fair.
Nice.
She slaps my hand whenever I try to make bad UI decisions and stops me. So
that's good. You need somebody like that.
Oh, absolutely. Talif's Journey is a JRPG type game. You play as a wizard who's going on an adventure. And the thing that kind of sets Talif's Journey apart is that the casting is all combination based.
Oh, okay.
So there's 4 elements mapped to the face buttons of a controller, and you can do those combinations into any combination to cast the magic spells you want to cast.
Right.
Different elements, different like support spells and things like that. You're a kid on an adventure, you go out, you do the regular JRPG stuff. Pretty linear story, but an open world, kind of choose which direction you do the story in and stuff like that.
Nice. And so what's your role, I hear, keeping him from making bad decisions?
Yeah, I make sure that the game looks polished, right?
Right.
We're planning 4 dungeons, right, including 5, including like a beginner's dungeon, and my job is designing those.
Nice.
So we decide like a concept kind of idea, and then my job is to make sure that those tile sets look super slick, and then we get them into the game. Right now for our tutorial, we're hitting you have your first baby dungeon, which is kind of like the beginner's forest. Sure. Every RPG has to have one, right?
Right.
And you're set out on your quest to make sure that you get the talisman, which is your iconic artifact that makes you a wizard.
Nice. Nice. That sounds awesome. So I think we actually have some media for your game. So before I switch to it, I'm gonna make sure we got your media set up here. Let's see. I think that's it there. Here it is. Let's see what we got here. Yes, there we go. So maybe you could tell me a little bit about what's going on here.
So this is just a random encounter. 3 wasps. You can cast either on single target, 3 targets, or all of the targets on the field. There's probably going to be at most 6 enemies on the field at one time, and you're a wizard, so you should be able to do area damage.
Right.
This is the first boss fight. You're fighting the goblin that stole your talisman and his cyclops. Earth Barrier is a defensive spell, so they're not going to be able to do any damage to Talif while it's up.
Wait, did you do the design? What's your name again?
Tara.
Your name is Tara,
Yes.
and you're the designer?
I don't monster design.
Oh, okay.
But I do the background work, so I did all the background work for this. And when Zach brings a monster design to me, he's usually done the rough art for the pixel art, and then I go in and I clean it up.
Gotcha.
And
okay,
then we put it back
sweet.
in the game. So
sweet.
It keeps our styles of art harmonized.
Right. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
They finally broke through the Earth Shield, and they currently only have 1 attack, but that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Every monster has different elemental weaknesses, and one of the things Talif can do is instead of cast magic, he can use an ability, something called Consider. And Consider lets him get some lore information about the monster, lets him get some weakness information about the monster, and lets him restore magic points. So it's kind of a thing you want to do to learn more about the monsters, more about the world, and also have a nice way that's not item base to get some magic points back.
That is really cool. You know, we were talking about this earlier. There's a lot of a lot of developers doing kind of the old 8-bit, 16-bit type stuff, and you know what I liking this too. Thanks, Capone Gaming. So we got some chat. They said it looks really great.
Thanks, chat.
Yeah. What I really liking this too is like, you know how we come out with new cars all the time, right? Like we're at the point now where we have self-driving cars, electric cars. You know, we got Teslas and all these cars that park themselves. But these games, it's almost like we're bringing back the 68 Camaro, the 69
Right.
Camaro.
Yeah, right.
The classics that people still can't deny are great cars, and that style, this old style, the 8-bit gaming, is still such a great. I think it just takes people back to what got them, a lot of people in gaming. Well, I know older people, but got them in gaming in the first place was playing these adventures. Yeah. And I always felt that because of the limits of the technology back then, you really did have to focus on what the story was and the gameplay was and what you had to do to make your way through the game, as opposed to all these beautiful graphics that sometimes have an empty story or it's just repetitive stuff over and over again. And I think that's really great that you're sticking with the style with this type of game, because people love these type of games.
Yeah, and I love these types of games.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that there's a pretty big lack of like JRPGs now. Like I grew up on Final Fantasy. I love like the Dragon Quest series, Earthbound, all of those games. And I feel like there's not enough of them.
Yeah. In the indie scene, there's really like, we've had Undertale, of course, right? I mean, it hit it big, but like you were saying, that's kind of like we're starting to see the beginning of the resurgence of the JRPG in the indie scene.
It's really
like
crazy.
We haven't had people hit that yet, and like that's kind of like, we want to be part of that. We want to, like, that's our childhood.
That's great. And here's the thing too, is because I didn't play a lot of JRPGs. The last one that I remember playing that I really was like into, and I was like, I'm finishing this game, was Secret of Mana. Super Nintendo. And they came back and you could play it on the Wii, but I think I can play it on the Switch now.
They remastered it, right?
So I remember Capone. I love these kind of games. Like, see, people are digging it. It's great. So it is really cool. And with me, I'm a very techie guy, which is really weird because there are some things that I'm really old school about. For example, I'm a DJ, right? I've been a DJ for over 30 years, and I still play 100% vinyl. 100% vinyl, right? But I'm also very into tech. Like I gotta have the newest cameras, the newest this, the newest that. But it's something about these old games, when you see them, it's almost timeless. You know? You know it's old school, but it's just like it doesn't register
click.
like, oh, there's these new games out. You still consider playing and putting those games up against any new game with crazy graphics, you know?
Yeah, and it's kind of like you said, like limitation breeds creativity.
Yes.
So like, since they were so limited, they had to be clever about it. But when you have so many options and you can do like anything in your game, it's like, how do you pick one direction when you can go so many different ways?
And I think often too, people focus so much on the graphics and making this thing look so realistic, and then they run out of steam for whatever. You're like, what am I doing in this amazing world? Like, doing nothing, you know. So it's really cool that you guys are keeping that old school vibe alive.
Small.
And,
small and impactful.
What
that's where we're
platforms
going.
are you thinking of putting it out on?
So as far as platforms go, PC for sure.
PC?
As many launchers as I can get it on.
Right.
I'm going to put it on Mac for sure. Linux is kind of up in the air. And we are shooting for consoles. Souls.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to shoot for Xbox One, PS4, and Switch. And so far, we've had some pretty good responses. So we're just going to kind of wait and see. Like,
speaking of Switch, I personally think, so I have all the consoles. I have PlayStation 4 or Xbox. And I really think of all the platforms, Switch is really the one that's focusing on that older style games.
Yeah.
I'll go into the store and I'll see these just crazy games. Like, who's making these games? Like crazy games I've never heard of, and I'm like, wish list. Like, I just put them because I'll buy them all. I'll be like, buy. But it's really cool that they're bringing that style back, and or they're keeping it alive. It never went away.
Yeah.
They're keeping it alive.
You're definitely seeing like from the artistic side of things, like we're seeing an evolution of that. Like you have games like Nuclear Throne and those modern pixel art
Enter
games.
the Gungeon.
Yeah, they're using like that modern lighting system and like puppeteering, but they're using that pixel art style. And we're not quite going. We're a little more old school than that. We're avoiding that kind of new lighting. We want to do everything hand animated.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of we want it to feel like you plugged in like a PS1 or a Super Nintendo and you're playing another JRPG.
That's good. And then you just, like you said, we just focus on the story and the gameplay.
Yeah.
And just because if you have a good story and you have good gameplay, you can be just as immersed into that game as you could in any, like, I'm a big Destiny 2 fan, so when I play Destiny 2, I'm on the moon, I'm on Mercury, like I'm in that game because I really like that game.
Yeah.
And the same game like these, if you really like that game, you're in that game.
And we are really focusing on story too. So the progression of the game is you get your talisman, which is your first like key item, and you bring it back. And then you're sent out to go get the 4 elemental gifts from the different bosses from each of the dungeons. Elemental themed because you're a wizard.
Right.
So every time you gain one, all the dialogue changes in the game. Every NPC will have updated dialogue, and like the story is like the forefront.
Wow.
Because I believe, or we believe, that an RPG has to sort of fire on all cylinders.
Yeah.
You have to have a good story. Your gameplay has to be good. Your music has to be compelling.
Absolutely.
And if you can nail all of it, then...
So you guys got music too and everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Who's doing the music?
Her name is Irene Chan. She is a composer that we met online. And she's been handling all the music beautifully.
That's awesome.
Like the soundtrack she has made is amazing. If I do say so myself. And I'm very picky with RPG music, so I want to be very specific and careful, and RPGs should also tell a story in their music, and so Irene has done an amazing job.
Now, what's the name of your company again?
We are Zatcharyah.
Zatcharyah.
Yep.
Okay, let me just try it. Zatcharyah. Okay, hold on.
Right here on the shirt.
See? Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Here we go. I got a little. We're gonna zoom into the shirt here. There we go. So there it is, Zatcharyah.
Yep, and we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Twitter is our most updated account for Talif, and I run all those personally. Follow us, follow along.
That's
We're
awesome.
hoping to have a public demo by the end of September.
Sweet.
And that's going to be on Steam and all of the itch.io, all the platforms that you would hope for it to be on PC at least.
Awesome.
Yep.
So Zach and Tara.
Yep.
Thank you so much for
talking
talking to me about
Thank
it.
you so much for having us.
Yeah,
man.
it was awesome.
It was awesome.
I'm excited for you. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks, chat.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. All right, you guys take it easy.
You too.
All right, we're going to take a quick break again, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere.